Hi, my name is Dale Guiducci. I'm with ERA Credit Services, and I'm going to talk about starting a credit repair business in the state of California. And it's appropriate because that's where we started our credit repair business going almost 7 years ago. Now, first thing to understand is that there are no course requirements or testing or licensing like you might have in real estate, although there's some companies on the internet advertising courses, and they would like to have you think differently so that you'll take their course. But there are no course requirements or testing or licensing in any state, so just know that. However, in California, there is a certificate that you have to get. It's a a certificate of registration with the Department of Justice. And before you apply for that certificate, you also have to go and get a $100,000 surety bond. Now, you can go to an insurance company. There's certain companies out there that do advertise for giving these surety bonds or issuing these surety bonds. So you can look those up on the internet and just know that that surety bond is going to cost you anywhere from $1,000 on the low end up to about $10,000 on the high end. And it's ironic that it's based on your credit score. So anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000, obviously the better credit score you have, the less you pay for that surety bond, and know that that surety bond is going to be good for 2 years. So it is going to be a recurring cost every 2 years of doing business. But what I just mentioned in terms of the certificate and the surety bond, that's not the biggest challenge. The biggest challenge comes from other regulations, whether they be federal or otherwise, and the market competition, which is in the credit restoration industry today, which is true for any state. Now, I've learned this over a period of almost 7 years in the business. And I'm going to share with you some things, some challenges that you're going to have to deal with to address. But I have a solution for you, something that's going to be a lot more simple for you, a lot more cost effective for you, and a lot more time efficient for you. And I'll share with you at the end. So what are these challenges that I'm talking about, whether you start in California or Florida or Massachusetts? It doesn't matter. Well, first of all, the federal government makes it so that you can only charge a nominal activation fee to get a client started. You got to charge something small, like within reason, like let's say $100. You can charge like $100 activation fee, but you cannot actually charge for services until you render them. Now, why is that important? Well, first of all, you need to know that. But second of all, some people I know that have gotten into the credit repair business, they've gotten into a cash flow crunch because of that. Because as you may or may not know, it takes a while to render services for people. And if you cannot, hang in with the cash flow until you render those services and get your fees from your client, that could cause a cash flow problem. So it's just something that you need to know. Something else with regard to building a credit repair business. Of course, you need a website. Hopefully you're aware of that. But today you need more than a website. There are companies like ours, in fact, and others that have technology that does things like allows clients to get online through their portal and see the progress of their service. And that's hard to compete with if you don't have that. So that's another sort of challenge. You got to figure out how you want to be competitive in the marketplace, or how competitive you want to be. Either way you want to put it, and think about those kinds of things. Here's another big couple of challenges right here. Number one, pulling credit. So you're going to have to pull credit in some way. You're going to have to get a hold of credit reports in order to understand what derogatory items your clients are dealing with so that you can help them through the credit restoration process. Well, it's very difficult to find a broker that will pull credit for you. In other words, that you could pay to have them furnish you credit reports in the credit repair industry. See, the credit bureaus don't like people in the credit repair business. They don't like credit repair companies. So they've instructed their brokers, who basically work for them, contracted with them to provide credit reports to different companies and so forth, not to provide credit reports to credit repair companies. How are you going to overcome that? That's a big challenge. Now, some people, what they do is they have their clients set up some sort of way online, some account to be able to pull their own credit and then give the credit repair company or person the username and password so they can go in and actually get the credit report. And that's I'm not going to say that's shady. I mean, it's certainly not illegal. It's just not as professional as it could be. So you got to look into that challenge. Another challenge is, are you going to be able to take credit cards? Now, why is that a problem? Because merchant services companies don't like credit repair companies. They shy away from it. You're going to have a hard time finding a merchant services company who's the type of company that's going to set you up in business to be able to take credit cards, Visa, MasterCard, Discover, American Express, debit card, and you're going to have a hard time finding a company that will work with you on that basis. That one is huge because otherwise you're only going to be able to take cash. Cash is not king today. As we know, credit is king. But here's like maybe out of all of those things, maybe you know you can figure out how to work through all of those things. Here's your biggest challenge, right? And those things are big, but this is your biggest one. Most people underestimate the time it takes for sales, marketing, and providing the services. I've talked to well over 2,000 people, maybe 2,500 people in the last almost 7 years now about this business. And people underestimate the fact that they have to, number one, do all the credit repair work for their client. And second of all, but they've got to go out also and do marketing to get clients and the sales piece with someone that's interested in the business. Then they got to provide the service. What does that do? It limits your ability to have a lot of clients. There's only so many hours in a day. There's only so many hours in a week and a month. It limits your money-making ability is the point. So you got to really, really think strong and hard. The other thing about that, what I just mentioned, I mentioned the admin work, the actual credit restoration service delivery. I mentioned marketing. I mentioned sales. Are you good at all those things? So you've got to have skill set in all three if you're going to be a one-person show, so to speak, or you're going to have to hire staff that has a skill set in an area that you don't. Another big one. I keep bringing big ones up, but this is, guys, this is stuff I've learned in 7 years. And again, I've talked to so many people that are kind of starting to look at getting into the industry, and it's a wonderful industry. It's just people don't think of these things because they haven't experienced it like I have. So I'm just telling you these things up front. There are companies out there today like ours that provide other services on top of credit repair. What do I mean? Well, credit repair, obviously, maybe not so obvious, but let me tell you what it is. It's the process of removing negative items on people's credit reports. So that's a very sort of generic and short version of the story. But that's what it is. It's removing those negative items so credit score increases, isn't it? But your account history, which is that category, only accounts for 35% of a credit score. So if you're just doing credit repair, you're not impacting 100% of somebody's credit score, but there are companies like ours that provide other services that do impact 100% of credit score. How are you going to compete with that? That's going to be tough. And I tell you that because I'm trying to open up your eyes to all the different challenges, not only to get a credit repair business set up, but also to be in the credit repair business. Another one. And this one isn't quite as big, maybe if you're just wanting to start locally or just part-time. But if you, let's say in the state of California, you get that certificate, you did your surety bond, you're ready to go, you got your website, all that stuff. Well, now you can only do business in California. You might go, well, there's plenty of people in California, Dale. I don't need to worry about that. But here's where it gives you a less than competitive advantage because if you're smart, you'll be out there talking to people in real estate and mortgage and banking, because they will be able to give you a plethora of customers on a regular basis. Well, if you can't do business in Utah, Nevada, and Oregon, and Arizona surrounding states, they might have clients in those states that you can't handle for them. Just giving you that heads up. So it's better to be able to do business in all 50 states. So there was a lot of challenges I just gave you there. And probably if you're just doing your homework or you haven't talked to me before, you're probably going, wow. And I'm not trying to discourage you. I'm trying to encourage you. It's a great business. But it's just that there's a lot of things to think of. But we have a solution. All that stuff I just mentioned, we've got a brilliant solution. So the solution is to join arms with us. Become an independent agent with our company because we have the entire infrastructure of technology, customer support. It's all set up. And we have staff that does all the admin credit repair work for you. So you're not going to be sitting behind a desk pulling credit, worried about where am I going to pull credit, where am I going to get my merchant services accounts, how do I analyze credit reports, how do I draft dispute letters, all of that stuff. It's all handled for you. We've got the technology. We pull credit all the time. It's already taken care of. We've got that handled. We've got merchant services handled. We've got marketing materials that are compliant to federal law and videos that are compliant to federal law. You don't have to reinvent all that, though. You can use those for your marketing right away. And we've satisfied the legal requirements in all 50 states. You could start with us today and do business not only in California today, but in all those states I mentioned, as well as any state in the country. Plus, we have those services, like I mentioned, services that provide the ability to help someone with 100% of their credit score. So what does that do? It makes you so competitive, right? So if you're trying to get business from somebody or go out there and talk to a real estate agent or mortgage company or whatever it is, they're going to say, well, wow, how are you different? Oh my gosh, we were working with us. You're going to be incredibly different because you do provide all these other services, where if you just provide credit repair, what makes you different? But here might be the best part, and you may not even believe this. Might sound too good to be true, but you could actually get started with us today as an independent agent with our company. Go out there and offer all these services, credit repair, be able to do business in all 50 states, everything I share with you for less than $300. Less than $300. Think about the difference between the bond issue. Like, you don't have to get a bond issue. We've already done that for you, right? The bond issue is going to be more than $300. And this isn't $300 a year. It's $300 and most of that, $199 one-time fee. So it's an incredible opportunity to be in business tomorrow and be in a very professional, competitive environment so that you can go out and do business anywhere in the country. Now, if you want to find out more, go to our website, www.eracreditservices.com, eracreditservices.com. You go to that page. Right across the top is the business opportunity tab. Click on it. There's two things there I want you to pay attention to. Number one, we've got a video. It's about 25 minutes long. You go, oh my gosh, 25 minutes. Yes, if you're interested, truly interested in starting a credit repair business, spend the 25 minutes. Great thing about the video, it tells you 100% of the correct information 100% of the time, number one. Number two, you can pause it. You can write down questions. You could say, what did he just say? I don't understand that. And then what you can do right below that video is book a phone appointment, pull up my calendar, see what my calendar is, book a time that you're going to be available that's convenient for you, and we'll get on the phone and we'll have a one-on-one conversation and we'll talk about the reality of this industry to see if this is something really for you. It's going to be a great education if nothing else, but also you might find the great business opportunity that you are looking for. So if you got some value from this video, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. But most of all, go to eracreditservices.com. Watch that 25-minute video. It explains our business opportunity in detail. If you like what you see, book that phone appointment, and we'll talk real soon. This is Dale Guiducci with ERA Credit Services. Have yourself a great day.